Hi guys, really great to have you on this presentation where we're going to talk to you about the weight loss program that I've developed with two fantastic guys. So myself, Dr. Hussain, Inder Virdi, nutritionist and functional medicine practitioner, and Myles Ellis, personal trainer. I want to talk to you about weight loss, why it's important, and what the elements of this program entail. So let's get cracking. Do you need weight loss jabs to tackle obesity? Today we're going to be looking at the medical elements of what we call GLP-1 agonists, drugs like Ozempic, Mounjaro, and those kind of drugs, and what that means from a medical point of view. So who am I and why do I care about this? So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Suhail Hussain. I've been a doctor for 25 years, 20 of those as a GP. And for the last 20 years or so, I've been working in the NHS. Now I've transitioned to working privately, where I see individuals at home looking after all their health needs. But what I've come to realize is that we are treating people when they become ill, and we should be trying to prevent that. And that's why I've developed this weight loss program. I believe passionately that health and wellness are key elements to living a long and fulfilling life. So, do you need medication to lose weight? I mean, the simple answer is no, you don't actually. You can manage this through diet, lifestyle, nutrition, and a healthy way of being. But life and individuals are complicated, and many things affect how we interact with the world around us and how that impacts us and our weight and our health. So there may be a use for medical intervention. Some of us may remember several years ago, 10, 15 years ago, bariatric surgery was a massive thing and it had benefits, but it also had complications. Now we're hearing about these drugs called GLP-1 agonists, as I mentioned, Ozempic, Mounjaro, these injectable medications that can play a major role in helping people to lose weight and lead a healthier life. But we have to be aware that there are risks with these medications. What are they and how do we try and manage that? You can actually buy these medications online. You can also buy them from a pharmacy. Now, I would not advocate doing this at all. This is an extremely risky process to undergo. If you buy it online, you don't know where it's coming from. You have no guarantee of safety. You have no guarantee of what the actual ingredients are anyway. Buying it from the chemist, hopefully it will be the drug that it's meant to be, but there's not going to be any supervision. No one will be monitoring you. No one will be seeing how you progress. And you'll be buying an expensive medication from a chemist who really has no incentive to monitor you other than just to sell you the medication. Equally, taking these medications are not without side effects. People that I've treated with these drugs commonly suffer things like gastric side effects, either diarrhea or constipation. But a really important point to bear in mind is that some of this weight loss is actually muscle loss, and that is what we do not want. We definitely do not want to lose muscle because muscle is metabolically active and beneficial. And Miles is going to talk to us about how preserving muscle is a really key element to the program that we've developed. So initially, you will be enrolled and you'll see me. I will send you a detailed health questionnaire asking not just about your weight, but all the health problems that you suffer with. You will send this questionnaire back to me. I will look over it and we'll book a 90-minute consultation. We'll go through the questionnaire in detail. I'll do a full, thorough physical examination and we'll do a whole set of bloods because we have to make sure that your baseline bloods are at a suitable point. We can't enroll someone in this program who has liver problems, who has kidney problems, who may have other issues going on. So it's really important to remember that medical supervision is important for this reason. So we have to check for underlying conditions. I will then produce a report which will be sent to you to have a look through and the recommendations contained within that report. Once you are enrolled, if you're suitable, we will then administer monthly prescriptions, and that will be then monitored on a regular basis with check-ins with myself and Inder and Myles going through the program. Now, before each script is issued, I will have a detailed video consultation with you, looking at your progress, how your weight has changed, how your waist circumference has changed, and importantly, as I said, if you've experienced any side effects or problems with the medications. We will then tailor the dosing to your requirements. If it can stay the same, it will do so. If it needs to go up, it can go up. If it needs to come down, it can also come down. This is not a one-size-fits-all program. It's a bespoke, tailored program made for each individual who enrolls on it. Following this, at the 3-month point, we'll have another face-to-face appointment where we'll do another physical assessment and redo your bloods. So in essence, what this program is a personalized and bespoke program designed for each unique individual because there is no one size fits all. It is combined with medical expertise, nutritional guidance, and thorough and comprehensive personal training. Equally, on top of that, it's provided at your convenience on a remote basis. Other than the first and the second visit with myself, this will be a remote program working around your schedule. People are busy, they have lots of things going on in their life. They want something that works easy and quick and is no hassle to engage in. Now, I'd like to hand over to our next speaker, Inder, to go through the nutritional element of this
Thank
program.
you, Suhail. So, as Suhail briefly mentioned, my name is Inder and I'm a nutritional therapist. And for the last 7 or 8 years, I've been specializing in helping people to lose weight, but also to help them with the psychological barriers that prevent them from making long-term sustainable change. So I'm going to kick off by saying I'm really not sitting here as a healthcare professional, but really as a son and as a grandson, seeing many relatives struggle with the complications of obesity and type 2 diabetes. And I'm here because I'm fed up. I'm fed up of seeing the same cycle over and over again. I'm sick of people trying to lose weight in unhealthy ways. And most importantly, I'm sick of seeing them losing the same 9 pounds every year. So, at the most basic level, nutrition is absolutely vital for making sure that you're losing weight in the most safe and healthy, sustainable way. But that's really just the beginning. What I do as a nutritional therapist is really all about optimizing your health. And to this day, I have yet to meet a single person who's walked through our clinic wanting to lose weight who has not experienced any other accompanying symptoms, whether that is bloating, whether that is constipation, whether that is fatigue, whether that is brain fog, or some other symptom that is lingering in the background. So, my primary job is to help you achieve your optimal health, to try and improve those little niggles that have been bothering you in the background for a long time. So, in 3 months' time, you are not only the slimmest version of yourself, but you are the happiest, most vibrant version of yourself, because that is what this is ultimately about. If I ask a client why they want to lose weight, it's usually some aesthetic reason. They want to fit into some clothes, they just want to feel better about themselves, they want to look good for their child's wedding. It normally falls into that bracket. But I'm going to tell you a hard truth. Those reasons, any of those types of reasons, are never good enough or compelling. Almost never. And the reason being is that they are extrinsic, they are external factors. It's a little bit like saying, I want to own a successful business and I want all of the trimmings that come with that, the car, the house, the lifestyle. But it's you at the end of the day sitting at that desk for 12 hours plus per day for many years. And if people are very truthful with themselves, it's very rarely those external motivators that allow somebody to persevere through the difficult times and to sustain the changes that they need to make and to sustain the sacrifices that they make. There is always at its core some aspects to a job that people absolutely love. That's the creativity, whether that's the people management, whether it's the numbers. There is almost something else intrinsic to that person that brings out a deep sense of enjoyment and fulfillment that allows them to keep pushing through. And weight loss is exactly the same. What has really compelled you to make these changes? And then normally focus in the opposite direction. So, it's absolutely fine to want to fit into a suit for your child's wedding, but we need to find what is sitting within you, who you really are as a person, and what is going to allow you to keep pushing through when you've had a tough day at work or you've had a Barney with a family member. You need to find out what is going to keep you on the track as opposed to going to the fridge and picking up a candy bar. And by the way, it may surprise you, but candy bars are absolutely allowed on this program because we want you to enjoy your food, want you to cultivate a positive relationship with your food as well. So the first week, in conjunction with Dr. Suhail, our job is to try and identify any physical barriers that are preventing you from achieving optimal health and weight loss. I will assess your diet, your lifestyle, and will come up with a plan and a set of recommendations that will allow you to feel your absolute best. So, the way I like to think about it, week one is all about a prescription, finding what those barriers are to your physical health, and then identifying any potential supplements, dietary changes, lifestyle changes that are needed to help you achieve optimal health. Because I'm going to say one more time, weight loss is a byproduct of a healthy and happy life. And then over the 3 months, we're going to be focusing on how to implement that dietary lifestyle prescription into your lifestyle. So the health coaching is all about trying to identify the barriers to change and your patterns of behavior that keep you in this vicious circle. This 12-week course is also about getting to know yourself better, who you really are, why you gravitate towards the junk. What function do the sweets play or the biscuits play or the alcohol? What role does it play for you? Because it always does, almost always play some other psychological role in terms of making you feel better. So we're going to try and find alternative ways to meet the needs that those foods are meeting. And most importantly, we're going to help you identify those stressors and those triggers, whether it's an argument with a family member, whether it's something going on at work, or even sometimes whether it's just waking up and not feeling your best. It's trying to understand what your triggers are and how to cope in a far more healthy and productive way. By the end of the 12 weeks, I hope for you to experience a stressor that would normally prompt you to go to the fridge. And I would like you to notice yourself feeling, ah, actually, I'm very impressed with myself. I didn't go to the fridge, spoke to my relative in a constructive way, or I wrote it down, or I went to the gym, or that would be the number one prize. Because the truth is, we can get you to lose weight, but if you're not feeling the best version of yourself, if you're not feeling vibrant and strong, and ultimately, if you're not feeling happy, what is the point? So, really, our goal is to help you feel vibrant and happy because weight loss is a journey and not a destination. It is all about making gentle, sustainable, lasting changes so that you can be the healthiest, happiest, and most vibrant version of yourself. So, as I said in week one, it's all about identifying those physical niggles and those symptoms that are bothering you and helping you become the most optimized version of yourself. But that is only really 20% of the battle. The other 80% is about how are we going to install this prescription, this set of habits and principles into your lifestyle. That is really the million-dollar question, and that is really the beauty of this program because it allows us to hold your hand every step of the way and to help you understand yourself better and to help you integrate these changes for the rest of your life. So, what is health coaching ultimately about? Well, at its core, it's about understanding your internal motivators versus your external motivators. So, external motivators are typically things like aesthetics, external image, expectations from others, things that only work typically for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months if you're lucky. The intrinsic motivators are those things that really matter to you and the things that trigger you and drive you to move you forward. A great example that I like to use with our clients is building a business. Let's say somebody wants to have a great lifestyle and they want the trimmings of success, but they are the ones who have to sit at that desk or work in that job for 12 hours a day plus for many, many years. Um, Unfortunately, just having a picture of your Lamborghini on the desk is not enough to keep you going. Really, when you reflect and think about what keeps you at work, it is usually the intrinsic motivators. It is the things like connecting to the people around you, belonging, enjoying the intellectual challenge of creating a product or problem solving. Those are the things that really keep us going and keep our tank full. So that is the goal of the next 12 weeks to try and keep your tank full. Because once again, I promise you, we can give you the diet and the lifestyle advice. 2 weeks, 2 months later, you're back to square one, even with the weight loss drugs. I mean, people do take them for far longer than they should. And of course, they'll sustain change. But guess what? They stop the drugs and they go back to square one because their relationship with themselves and those core motivators are just not there or have not been identified. So our goal with health coaching is to identify those barriers to change, the motivators, those intrinsic motivators, and also to meet you where you're at. It may not be realistic to say eat 5 vegetables per day. If you're busy and on the go, it's just not realistic. So we've got to identify, understand your lifestyle, and try and maximize every opportunity we can to get the right nutrition in there. And the last benefit of the health coaching, which surprises many, is really about stress management because ultimately that is often the biggest hurdle for people. It's fine when you're on holiday to get the chef to make you a steak and salad every meal. But again, when you're on the go, you're busy and you're stressed, um, it all falls by the wayside. So we want to understand what your stresses are, what needs need to be met, which are not being met when you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed and reaching for that chocolate. Because there is normally underlying some emotions like fear, anger, shame that we are not really addressing correctly, that can be dealt with in far more constructive way in time and with training and awareness. So really, health coaching is about being in touch with yourself on a much deeper level. And the benefits never cease to amaze me. Often when you have the stress management under control, it trickles out into other areas of life. I had the wife of a patient recently reached out to me and said, "God, Inder, thank you so much for the work that you did because he's so much more pleasant around the house. He's not as hangry or irritable as he was. He's far more relaxed, and the whole family benefits." So health coaching is a really, really beautiful and absolutely essential tool for any busy professional or really anybody wanting to lose weight. Because usually, unless there is some obvious physical barrier, it is normally psychology and the person's relationship to food and stress that is preventing them from losing weight in a sustainable way. And once again, weight loss is a journey, not a destination. And weight loss is a byproduct of a healthy and happy life. So, our journey over the next 12 weeks is to make you a healthier and happier person. Weight loss will come. I'm now going to pass on to Myles, who's going to explain the personal training component of the program, and the importance of training correctly.
Hi, I'm Myles Ellis. I am a personal trainer by trade. I've been PT now for 8 years, working in commercial gyms to now working in co-working spaces across London, working with high net individuals, CEOs, and leaders, as well as a health coach at Limitless Performance, in which we're going to dive a bit deeper into today and how that and we can help you along this journey for the next 3 months. So, if we look at personal training, online coaching, what are the benefits of a training program? Now, for this, it's all about within these first 3 months, making sure we start at your own pace, understanding where you're at as an individual. So, our trainers will design workouts for you to complete that matches your current fitness level, making sure there's no added pressure onto you within this time during the week, and making sure we put the right steps in to get you moving safely and confident. Second is we've got staying motivated and feeling supported. Sometimes the hardest thing is for people to get started. So we're here within the first 3 months to make sure that you've got guidance. So it's easier for you to stick to someone that's cheering you on and making sure they're holding you accountable to make sure you're ticking off those non-negotiables during the week that we set with your workouts and also your activity levels. Making sure we move safely and avoid injury. So we will coach you through different movement patterns within our bi-weekly sessions to make sure we are performing exercises correctly, making sure that we remove and avoid any injury without overdoing it. Making sure that every minute counts. Sometimes people think to get to a certain physique, you need more time in the gym, more hours working out, when realistically for us, it's making sure that we do better with what we currently got. Okay, so we meet you where you're at, see how many hours in a day that you have free to maybe work out, to get activity in, and find a program that will suit you best. And for us, it's making sure you feel real progress within the next 3 months. So whether it's with your energy levels, better sleep, your clothes fitting better, your trainer will be here to track all the big and small wins. Now, why a personal training program makes sense when taking weight loss drugs. So for us, 5 key areas. So the first one is that it helps preserve muscle, while obviously, let's say Ozempic is there to reduce the weight and lose fat. So Ozempic reduces appetite, which often will lead to the weight loss. But without exercise, resistance training, then you often find a lot of muscle loss with that. So for us, our personal trainer will ensure your workouts include resistance training to help preserve lean muscle and support long-term metabolism, whether that's at home with weights, resistance bands, or if you have a gym to go to. Second, we have boosting energy and reduces fatigue. So for us, although drugs like Ozempic will curb hunger, that can lead to a lack of energy for some people, especially early on through the phase. So for us, it's with the workouts, improving energy levels. So through endorphins, blood circulation, and overall mood, helping you to feel better physically and mentally. Number three, improves blood sugar control. So exercise helps your body use insulin more efficiently. So when paired with a weight loss drug like Ozempic, regular training enhances blood sugar stability and supports better long-term glucose management, critical for people with diabetes or pre-diabetes. Number four, we've got build a sustainable, healthy routine. Now, this for us is the main area we're going to focus on. For us, it's making exercise, whether that's going for a walk, a cycle, your gym exercises, a non-negotiable within your lifestyle. This is for you for the first 3 months, something that you'll have someone by your side. But after that, it's making sure that you've built in a non-negotiable routine that you can carry on for the rest of your life. Last one, reduces risk of side effects. Some people experience GI side effects with things like Ozempic, like nausea, constipation. Gentle guided movement can help digestion and ease these symptoms. So that's something that we'll be looking at. The injections may help with weight loss, but fitness is something obviously that's going to help you transform your body, protect your health, and build long-term strength and confidence within yourself. So our personal trainers are on hand to give you a clear, safe, and supportive path to move better, feel better, and make your results last. How the program will work from our end is that within the first session, this will be your consultation. So we'll uncovering your current exercise habits, finding out what accessibility you have for us to design a bespoke program. For us, it's all about building a program that suits you and your needs. So you will then get the details of your physical program designed for you on a coaching app that we will sign you up to. And these sessions that we program for you on the app will be done between the time of our next session, which is bi-weekly. You'll also get a check-in every week via the app by your personal trainer to see how your progress has been that week. Sessions 2 to number 6 at the end of the 3rd month. These sessions will be your check-ins and for us to go over the previous 2 weeks of your program. If we're adding in new exercises within the next block, we will also look to update the fitness program, making sure we go through any movements on the video call to make sure you understand how to do them and make sure your technique is there. From my end, that is how the program will work. Obviously, the first 3 months is where we want to make sure we build those habits, create clear systems for you to follow so that even on your worst days, you've got non-negotiables that you've hit. And hopefully that will lead to us being in a better position after our 3-month package.
If this was of interest to you, or if there's anything you're not sure about, please do reach out via the details below. I'll be happy to run through it and answer any questions that you may have. Thanks so much. Bye for now.